Morning, everybody. This is Zach Sanded again. I'm your host, Zach Cooley, and I'm honored to have on the phone with me new local music sensation, 14-year-old Jaelyn Taylor. Thank you for being with me, Jaelyn.
Thank you for having me.
You've gotten quite a bit of attention with this band that you've been in locally. Can you tell me about how you all got started?
So we actually played a showcase at Stigma in Nashville at the start of the year last year, and I kind of just fell in love with the idea of having a band and like just playing shows and stuff. So we had the idea to put a band together. It was actually something I wanted to do for a long time, and now that it's just took off, I couldn't be more proud.
Oh, I'm sure, and I know your family is proud of you. And speaking of family, you've got 3 generations of family in this band. 3 generations of seasoned musicians, if you will. And
Yes,
what is that like to play with your dad and your grandfather?
it's really cool, the fact that just everything that they've experienced has passed on to me, and we can discover new things together.
So I'm sure that with your dad having been in bands all the way and your granddad having been in bands all the way, that music has always been a part of your life. You're pretty well born with it.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain about when and how you fell in love with music and what type of music, what type of instruments did you first become interested in?
Yeah, so whenever I was little, I used to sing in church all the time, and I used to compete in talent shows as a kid. I remember 5th grade, Stiller always had a talent show, and I would join every year. And then from there, it's just I fell in love with singing and playing instruments and stuff, which I actually started on the guitar when I was, I don't know, maybe 6. And from there, I didn't have my heart completely in it then, but then I started competing in competitions for church, and I think just singing in front of people made it more real and something that I definitely wanted to chase. And about a year ago, I really started taking it seriously. I actually switched to the mandolin, which I'm so glad I did because I love it even more. But I've been taking everything more seriously, and it's just so much fun.
Well, you are a freshman at George Wythe High School, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You are a freshman at George Wythe High School, and you are the boss of this band. So how did you get picked to be the leader of this group, of this very seasoned group of players?
I think mainly the singing is what got me to be the leader of the group.
Well, that's something that is a talent that is definitely God-given and very hard to come by. I would love to be able to sing. I'm a lifelong lover of music. My wife can sing, my daughter can sing, but I can't carry a tune in a bucket. So I know that to be able to sing and to carry a tune properly is a real blessing.
Yes, sir.
I think it's important to note, too, that I don't know if you know who Bonnie Raitt is. Bonnie Raitt is one of my favorite musicians. She's a blues guitarist and singer. Plays slide guitar, and she's been around for over 50 years. And she said, when I was coming up, there were very few female leaders of bands. And she said, today you see all kinds of women who are leading their own bands. Does that hold any kind of special note for you being a female leader of the band at the ripe age of 14?
Yeah, usually most bands are led by guys, so it's definitely something to cherish being a girl leader.
I mean, I think that's pretty awesome that you are so young, and the fact that you are a female, and that you're playing with people who, know what they're doing. Your dad's been in bands for years. Your granddad's been in bands for years. You've the guys that you're in the band with have played with the McPeak brothers and these bands that we all know around here. But you also have gotten to play with some national acts, like Carson Peters, who was on The Voice. What was that experience like?
It's super cool to be able to play with bigger people. It definitely makes me look forward to doing more with music in the future. But I enjoy singing in front of crowds. I definitely look forward to it every time.
Oh, absolutely. So what was, with all the people that you played with, what's been the highlight for you?
The highlight for me would probably be playing with the Cody North show at IBMA. It was he's a well-known bluegrass band from local, and the crowd that was there was awesome. And I think just being exposed with playing with him just made my night and the rest of my music career.
And Cody Norris is from where, did you say?
Mountain, Tennessee. Mountain City, actually.
Mountain City, Tennessee. Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you've played with Johnny Williams, who's a pretty big bluegrass act, and he's from Freeze.
Yes, sir.
So, and you've also recorded a new EP, which is why we're talking. So what do you want to say about this new EP that you've got out?
It was so much fun to be in the studio just to see how it all works. The way everything's recorded is just unreal. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. It was just so much fun to be in the studio and seeing what professionals go through to get their music out. And yeah, we actually recorded 4 original songs, and we're slowly releasing them. We have one dropping on Thanksgiving, which I'm super excited about. But it was just so much fun to record original music that we wrote.
Right. And your dad writes the songs, right?
Yes, sir. We actually, the first one we're dropping is called Just One More Day, and it's probably one of my favorites, actually. It's about a coal miner or a wife that lost her husband due to the coal mines in West Virginia.
Right. And by the time that listeners hear this, it will be after Thanksgiving, so they will be able to access this track. Where can they hear it?
iTunes, Spotify, all streaming outlets, YouTube, stuff like that.
So is this all going to be a digital release, or will there actually be a tangible CD that you can buy?
So you can get it online, but we also have CDs.
Awesome. So is there plans for a full album in the future, maybe?
Yeah, I hope so.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. You've won the Bands and Brews contest this year. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Which got you a spot in Chautauqua, and that's where you played with Carson. And he's a pretty big deal. He's been all over the place and around the area. What was he like to play with?
It's so much fun playing with him every time. I actually am pretty good friends with his mandolin player, and he asked me to sing with him one time, and then ever since that, me and Carson got really close, and we started singing together all the time, and it's still so much fun.
Oh, so was that a big moment for you? Had you followed him on The Voice, or was it just the opportunity to play that was exciting?
Just the opportunity to play with him on stage.
Mhm. Who is somebody that you haven't worked with that you would like to?
Probably Patty Loveless.
Patty Loveless, okay. All right. And the name of your band is Jaelyn Taylor and 21 South. And as I said, you have a very seasoned group of players. You also have some young, talented musicians in there. So you want to talk about your fellow bandmates?
Yeah. Like I said, it's just so much fun to play with all of them. Mm-hmm. And there's something unique about all of them that just makes the band what the band is. And our banjo player, I never thought that I'd really have somebody in my band the same age as me.
Right.
And it's so cool having someone the same age as me getting to share the same experience for the first time like me.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would imagine being as young as you are, it's there's a sense of wonder to it, maybe that the older members don't have. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Because I can just imagine being as young as you are and leading your own band. I mean, you obviously have a great amount of talent to be able to do that and to be able to carry that responsibility. Do you find that difficult at times?
Not really. I know I definitely couldn't do it without them though, because I rely on their experiences, with what they have been through to help me kind of lead my band into the right direction.
Sure.
So.
Sure. How, as the leader of the band, how much creative control do you have, or is it a pretty democratic group, or how does that work?
We all work together. We all kind of just name off songs, which is kind of difficult being a female bluegrass artist because most songs are written from a male's perspective. So that's kind of one of the downfalls of being a female bluegrass artist. So it's definitely easier having another girl in the band to help, and then the rest of them who's had experience to know to kind of help with what material to do.
Do you get to do any writing personally? As you said, most songs are written from male point of views, designed for male singers. Do you get to do any kind of personal writing that reflects bluegrass from a female point of view?
So some songs I kind of put my own twist on and rearrange some of the words to make it sound like a female's perspective.
Right.
But I haven't personally wrote one from a straight female's perspective, like of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I just pretty much rearrange others to fit.
You think that's something you may do in the future? Are you looking to do more independent writing, or?
Yeah, I would definitely like to start writing. You're helping Dad write.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm pretty sure with your dad, I'm pretty sure that talent for writing is probably in there somewhere in you, and it'd be interesting to see what you come up with. I've been seeing, your name all over the place in the local music scene, and you've got some pretty big gigs coming up throughout the year. What are you anticipating is next in your future?
Just getting all the small stuff to work to lead to playing bigger shows in the future. I hope to have a career out of it where I can, just do music full time.
Yes, I think that's any artist's dream, and I think you definitely are going about it the right way. As we talked about, it must be you really have a leg up having the support of your family and having your family in back of you, and that must mean a great deal to you, to have them, not only to have their support, but to have them go with you on this journey.
Yes, sir.
I know your dad and your grandfather must be very proud of what you've done. What do they say about how things have turned out?
They definitely tell me all the time how proud they are and how they just hope to see me succeed in the future.
I'm sure, and hopefully they can be with you through the run. I just think the fact that you have 3 generations in your band, and the fact that you're a female leading the whole group and accomplishing the things that you are, I think that's very admirable. And I would venture to say that your hometown is very proud of you as well.
Yes, sir. I couldn't do it without their support to help push us into getting well known.
Well, as I said, you've been all over the place. You've been recognized. You've been on the front page. You certainly didn't need my little editorial to help you along. But I've been friends with your dad for a long time, and I'm grateful that he asked me and chose me to be a part of helping promote this.
Yeah.
Because it means a lot to me. I've known your family for a long time. I think that any time that you all want to include me in your journey, I'm happy to help along the way. So thank you for making me a part of that. As I was telling your dad earlier, I remember when you were little and you wanted to come up and say hello, and you were just the sweetest little thing, and you were about 2 years old, and that in no way seems like that was 12 years ago. So time moves fast, and it's nice to see that you've grown up into such a nice young lady, and that you're enjoying all this success, and most importantly, that you're taking it in stride. Because I know a lot of young people that would let it go to their head, but you seem to have a real humble attitude about everything. So that's important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Is that something that your dad has instilled in you, or where do you think that humility comes from?
It's kind of a part of the music. Bluegrass is everybody is very humble in this genre of music. But I have that mindset because I know there's always somebody better than me. And there's also always somebody that would like to be where I'm at. So I don't really want to act like I'm the best of the best when I know that there's always somebody better.
And do you think that being from Withville and coming from where we come from, that because as you said, bluegrass is a very humble genre. Do you think that it has something to do with where you come from and the fact that local people, Westfield people, small town people are more humble-minded. Would you agree with that?
Yes, for sure. It's small town people will always be there to support you because you're local, and there's not very many people with talent like that.
True. Or people that can really have the means to develop it and go places with it. Because what people don't understand, I've been doing this newspaper column longer than you've been alive. It'll be 18 years. 18 years in July. And what people don't know is there is a big artistic scene here in Wythe County. It's just that not everybody, we don't have the means to necessarily play big stages, but there are a lot of people out there trying to do what you're doing. And part of my job, or what I hope to be my job, is to help all of the people that are trying to get noticed, that have talent, be noticed. So it must mean something to you to be a part of that scene and to be the one to get picked best in Wythe County 2 years running, and to be the one to play on the Chautauqua stage with Carson Peters, and to be the one to play big cities like Nashville and things like that.
For sure.
I mean, I'm sure that is not something you take lightly. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, maybe that I didn't cover?
No, sir. I think we covered it all.
All right. Well, it's been a delight talking to you. I really appreciate you agreeing to talk with me, and I will look forward to watching your star rise.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.